Hélène wanted to protest but did not dare. Smells of stale grain and rotting meat, the truck's previous cargo, assaulted her nose, mixing with her own stench in the warm air. It had been 3 days since she had bathed or changed, and her dress was wrinkled and filthy, her once luminous black curls dull and matted against her head. When the women were all inside the truck, the back hatch shut with an ominous click. "Where are they taking us?" someone whispered. Silence. No one knew, and they were all too afraid to venture a guess. They had heard the stories of the trains headed east to awful places from which no one ever returned. Hélène wondered how long the journey would be. As they bumped along the Paris streets, Hélène's bones, already sore from sleeping on the hard prison cell floor, cried out in pain. Her mouth was dry and her stomach empty. She wanted water and a meal, a hot bath. She wanted home. If home was a place that even existed anymore. Hélène's husband Gabriel was missing in Germany, his fate unknown. She had scarcely spoken with her parents since before the war, and Hélène herself had been taken without notice. Nobody knew that she had been arrested or had any idea where she had gone. It was as if she simply no longer existed. To distract herself, Hélène tried to picture the route they were taking outside the windowless truck, down the boulevard she had just days earlier walked freely, past the cafes and shops. The familiar location should have been some small comfort. But this might well be the last time she ever came this way, Hélène realized, and the thought only worsened her despair. Several minutes later, the truck stopped with a screech. They were at a train station, Hélène guessed. The back hatch to the truck opened, and the women peered out into pitch blackness. "Raus!" a voice commanded. That they were under the watch of Germans now seemed to confirm Hélène's worst fears about where they were headed. "Schnell!" Someone let out a cry, a mix of the anguish and uncertainty they all felt. The women clambered from the truck, and Hélène stumbled, banging her knee and yelping. "Quiet," a woman's voice beside her cautioned fearfully. A hand reached out and helped her down the ramp with an unexpectedly gentle touch. Outside the truck, it was the tiniest bit lighter, and Hélène was just able to make out some sort of loading dock. The group moved forward into a large building. Now Hélène found herself in complete darkness once more. This was how she had come to be in an unfamiliar building, shuffling forward blindly with a group of women she did not know, uncertain of where they were going or the fate that might befall them. She could see nothing, only feel the fear and confusion in the air around her. They seemed to be in some sort of corridor, pressed even more closely together than they had been. Hélène put her hand on the shoulder of the woman in front of her, trying hard not to fall again. They were herded roughly through a doorway into a room that was also unlit. No one moved or spoke. Hélène had heard rumors of mass executions, groups of people gassed or simply shot. The Germans might do that to them now. Her skin prickled. She thought of those she loved most, Gabriel and, despite everything that had happened, her parents. Hélène wanted their faces, not fear, to be her final thought. Bright lights turned on suddenly, illuminating the space around them. "Mon Dieu!" someone behind her exclaimed softly. Hélène blinked her eyes, scarcely daring to believe what she saw. They were not in a camp or a prison at all. Instead, they were standing in the main showroom of what had once been one of the grandest department stores in Paris.
1. Louise. Henley-on-Thames, 1953. The fog is rolling in low across the Thames as I shutter the second-hand shop on Bell Street for the night, the mist weaving its way, tentacle-like, into the alley where my bicycle leans against the side of the grey brick building. The sudden gloom seems to signal a change, the start of something ominous. I draw my woolen scarf closer around my neck against the brisk September air, then climb onto the rickety shopper and begin to pedal home. I navigate through the